route back to the designated service park at Talton Raceway took competitors from Saferbult back towards the Sluisrandjies, where the course joined the last 30 kilometers of the Donaldson Prologue route. A spectator-friendly event was peppered with vantage points for enthusiasts.
The backdrop provided for a typically peaceful South African rural scene with hardly a cloud in the sky and no hint of the drama that can unfold on a national championship off-road race. Herman and Richard Solwald were now out in front of the entire field in the Solwald Racing SVR. But one of the disadvantages of being first car on the road is that people sometimes forget to open farm gates for off-road traffic.
Jumping in and out of race cars to open gates is a time-wasting exercise, and in any event, off-road cars are of sturdy construction. To their credit, the Solwalds opened the gates as gently as possible and were soon underway and building up towards racing speed. Behind the Solwald Racing SVR, the Rubicon Racing Toyota Hilux of Pikkie Labuschagne and Rikus Erasmus was still out in front of the production vehicle field and sounding healthy.
The route was now entering the notorious RFS Magalies mountain section, and retirements and mechanical niggles had taken Nandis and Louis Alberts from 5th to 2nd among the special vehicles. Johan van Staden and James Rousseau had also moved up 3 places in the Atlas Copco BAT, and there were also changes in the production vehicle category, where Jannie Visser and Yorks Leroux were now 2nd, with reigning champions Chris Visser and Japie Badenhorst out of the race.
Off-road crews are issued with road books, a GPS system is compulsory, and the route is also marked with orange Dayglow stickers, and still they get lost. The sequence of race cam footage shows 4 of the most experienced crews in the ABSA Championship riding around in circles and tripping over each other.
Involved in this little comedy that would have kept the Keystone cops happy were Hannes Grobler and Henny ter Steege, Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen, Anthony Taylor and Chris Birkin, and Herman and Richard Solwald. Settle back for a few moments and enjoy the fun. Excuse me, do you know the way?
It's hard to tell who eventually found the right route, but race cam footage from the Hutchison-Stassen Motorwide Revo shows a clear road ahead. Hutchison and Stassen were then quickly overhauled by Hannes Grobler and Henny ter Steege, with what started out as a test drive in the RFS BMW X3 now starting to take on a different meaning. Grobler and ter Steege won the opening event of the season with the BMW X3 then powered by a V8 diesel motor. 3 non-finishers followed and effectively put the veteran pair out of the championship running. Second place on the Sun City 400 was followed by another non-finish when the decision was taken to fit the BMW with the V8 petrol engine. It was a move that looked to be paying early dividends.
While Grobler and ter Steege went on their merry way, Nick and Ryan Harper had been reduced to spectators with the Motorride BAT or the Combat.
Stopped at the light check, and as we pulled off, the side shaft just broke. No drive, no.
Bloemfontein-based David White and stand-in co-driver Etienne Besadenhout were having a steady drive in the Rubicon BAT, with retirements also moving them up a place or 2 among the special vehicles. Cape-based Besadenhout was standing in for White's brother David, who had business commitments, and the pair were just ahead of Hannes Grobler and Henny ter Steege, and were then passed at a rapid rate of knots by Cully and Quinton Solwald, who were on track to grab the top 7 finish they needed to make sure of back-to-back special vehicle championships.
On the run-in, the compulsory 15-minute stop at the designated service point was waiting. Anthony Taylor and Chris Birkin were running a solid 4th in the Team Castrol Toyota Hilux. 2 second places were all they had to show for what had been a disappointing season for Taylor and Birkin, with a near miss on the Toyota 1000 Desert Race particularly disappointing. A maiden win on the Toyota Dealer 400 and consistent results kept Mike Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson in the championship hunt, but the pair were now nearly 6 minutes behind production vehicle leaders Pikkie Labuschagne and Rikus Erasmus. The Regent Racing Nissan Navara was being chased by Gerard and Kobie du Plessis, and behind them, Gary Berthold and Andre Vermeulen were pushing hard in the Atlas Copco Toyota Hilux.
The notorious mountain section then provided for more drama when Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen came labouring up the hill only to grind to a halt in a cloud of dust metres before a switchback corner.
Clouds of dust heralded the approach of a string of cars, and KwaZulu-Natal pair Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell managed to squeeze the Gibson Racing Porter past the stranded motorite car, which had lost four-wheel drive. More dust heralded more and more cars starting to arrive on the scene, and Gary Bertold and Andre Vermeulen also managed to edge their Atlas Copco Toyota past the motorite car, which was now blocking the road.
A string of cars had by now piled up behind the motor-white Revo, with Evan Hutchison not able to get any traction from the front wheels. Dani Stassen was packing rocks under and around the wheels, while frustrated crews waited impatiently for something to happen. After a lengthy delay, Hutchison managed to get enough traction to get the motor-white Revo onto the side of the track, and Hicho and Jaap de Bruin were the first of the crews lined up behind to get going again.
You can bet that there were a few choice words further back. The backlog of cars held up behind the motorite car slowly dissipated, but more significantly, the incident also heralded the end of Evan Hutchison's championship hopes.
First car into the designated service area was the Sulwald Racing SVR of Herman and Wichert Sulwald, with the broken shock absorbers spoiling what had been a good morning's work for the Palabora father and son crew.
Evan got a puncture early in the lap, so we were doing the route finding. At some stages it was long grass, a lot of rocks, but we've got a good run. I see that one of the shocks is damaged, but I haven't got a spare, so we'll just carry on like that.
Oh, it's rough. The dust is amazing. You can't get close to the guys, so we've managed to open a bit of a gap. We're keeping a gap between us and the guys behind us, so we got a comfortable spot. The forest section made the guys get lost, so there's a lot of confusion going on there. We moved up quite far in Class A, I think. I think we're about fifth or third. It's going well, third in class at the moment.
Dis baie stowwerig, maar dit gaan goed. Die kar hou versigtig ry, baie klippe, daar's baie plekke wat jy kan uitvang.
Dit gaan rof, is lekker. Ons het lank voor gery tot ons 'n papiel gekry het, maar ons dan vinnig gery en goed weet op die pad. So ek dink nie ons lê te sleg op die stadium.
We're having a good run, no problem so far, just changing some tyres now to hopefully make it to the end without any problems at the back.
No, we're doing well. The car's performing very well. Made up some places. Just got to keep our eyes open for the lurkers. There's a lot of rocks and stumps and things around, but we're doing well.
We can't believe how much dust is out there. We've been chasing each other meters apart in the dust, and it's just a red cloud as far as you go. Luckily, it looks like the wind is coming up now. It can help us a lot, but it's rocks and it's bad. It's just one big fight out there at the moment.
Yeah, we rolled not even a kilometre away from here. But we're going again and we should be okay. We're catching quite nicely. So just dust is bad, our screamer's not working. Try and fix everything now quickly.
The running order at the halfway mark had the Sulwalds ahead of Nandus and Louis Alberts, with Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux leading the production vehicle brigade ahead of Hannes Grobler and Henny Terstegen.